Hello, can we talk? I'm Linda Brayman, and I want to be sure that you know all about senior moments. And since another show is about to begin, this is probably a good time. Senior Moments covers events and activities at senior centers in the Ann Arbor, Ypsilanti areas, such as Ann Arbor Senior Center, Turner Senior Resource Center, the Pittsfield Senior Center, and the Ann Arbor Community Center. Also, the show provides valuable information for senior citizens on such issues as health, wealth, finance, and entertainment. Senior Moments is a monthly show. It premieres on the last Sunday of the month at 5 p.m. and it reruns 10 times a week on CTN Channel 16. Please check out our website, a2gov.org/CTN for the playback schedule. Also, you can watch the show on YouTube. Please log on to youtube.com/CTN Ann Arbor to view current and archived shows. Sit back and experience it for yourself.
Hello, I'm Brigitte Maassen with Senior Moments. Have you ever received a phone call from a frightening person screaming at you, Grandma, please help me. I need money, otherwise they're going to hurt me. Well, if you do, calm down and think before you act. You may have gotten the call from a scammer, not really your loved one. There are not only phone scams, but also so many different types of online text scams, frauds, using digital technologies. Especially seniors are very easy prey for scammers because we are connected online and through our cellular devices to family and friends. Today, we have a crime prevention specialist who will share important information on how to avoid being a victim of scams and fraud. Ritchie Coleman, who retired and now works part-time as a public safety community coordinator in Pittsfield Township, will help share some important tips on how to avoid being a victim of ID theft and fraud. And thank you for coming.
Thank you so much.
Ritchie, and we're looking forward to some very good, important advice.
Happy to be here with you, Bridget. And all of the information that we will share today will be accessible from a variety of sources that we'll share.
Great. I know you have been here before, but and would you please tell your audience about yourself and who you are and what you're doing now?
As Ritchie Coleman is my name, it's Ritchie, but I go by Rich. And it's so much easier for the children and all of the community groups that we work with to be able to engage. We were on a first name basis. And as the crime prevention community coordinator for the township, 30 plus years ago when we started, the position was designed to have a civilian involved with the department to do community outreach. That was with Neighborhood Watch, businesses, schools, all of the important components with being able to have someone that they can always count on to be there. The training that I received, in addition to what we did previously, and all of those educational components brought to this position a training component, working with juveniles, working with schools, as well as working as a professional musician. So this public speaking part became a really easy transition for me. I'm not afraid to be in front of a crowd or in front of a camera. But what has been important about this job is that the community members know that they have someone that they can call. The department knows from both police and fire and all of our components that there's a resource. If we don't have an answer, we'll get with the community coordinator to do that. So we've been very instrumental in providing a resource for the community members, in addition to doing outreach with our seniors and our assisted living locations, our schools, and our parents who have questions and concerns about multimedia issues, crime prevention issues, personal safety. We are inclusive with all of those within our job.
Oh, wonderful. And in your previous show, you mentioned neighborhood like watch group?
Yes. When I started, this gives us a traditional format of neighborhood watch. We would go door to door with our block captains
Oh,
handing
yeah.
out flyers, reaching out to and coordinating with the community for block captains, and information that we could share with a telephone tree for emergencies. Over time, it has transitioned to now a technical format of emails, the email chains that we have through our various services, through we have in Pittsfield Township Notify Me, Newsflash. We also use Nextdoor, that we have thousands of residents sign up to get those notices. We publish a monthly crime prevention summary that provides details on 16 types of crimes, in addition to the things that are important for individuals within their community. And we try to make sure that we are inclusive with the data that they can receive when they sign up for the programs, but as well as where can I get that resource if I can't reach you, or if I need to share it with my family members. Our theme now, nationwide, has been see something, say something. That component through the Homeland Security Office, we've got a flyer that
Yeah, I see.
we have
You maybe
here
want to show. Yeah, right.
in Pittsfield Township, that with permission from the DHS, we got the template to import our information. But the theme for this program is, if there's something suspicious that's going on in the community, we want residents to call.
Yes.
Every call is a good call.
How else you know? Right.
And so we have a number of our residents who now have video doorbells. They have cameras throughout their homes. And any time that there's a situation or incident that has occurred, residents are being asked by law enforcement, can you provide us with camera footage from your system? And that's a voluntary thing that the residents can do for us. And there's a number of them that are out there. And it's whatever your system that you use, that you can harvest that information to share with us regarding any types of crimes or suspicious behavior, or any type of incident that will help us solve the problem. That's what's so critical about see something, say something, and not being afraid. We also have this in multiple languages that we can share with every aspect of our community. So this has been the part of the most recent national campaign that Pittsfield Township and all of our law enforcement partners across the country are participating in.
Maybe I could just, add something, because it happened not too long ago across the street with my neighbor. He came home and there was a smoldering smell and a fire starting in the front of his house. And the fire department came, and they thought it was a suspicious fire, and they couldn't figure out what was going on. Luckily, we had a camera across the street, and we saw that, unfortunately, the gardener used the blowtorch to kill the wheat and left.
Yes.
And so this is just one of the examples. I just thought like maybe I wanted to, add to this.
And that's important, because that's what both police and fire, when we have suspicious activities like that, if there's a camera that's somewhere around the area that could pick up a vehicle or a person or something that's going on, that helps put the puzzle together in order to help save lives, as well as address an issue that
it wasn't
occurred.
suspicious, it was negligence.
Yes.
So I'm glad.
Absolutely.
So anyway,
Absolutely.
And I understand there are many types of frauds and scams. Could you tell us, so inform us about them?
Absolutely. One of the things that has been important for my role in the research that we've done is to follow the Federal Trade Commission's Consumer Sentinel Report. When this first came out over 15 plus years ago, I began to monitor this particular report that had a breakdown of nationally the impact of identity theft and fraud, in addition to a specific breakdown by state, which was amazing to see that, which gave me the ability to use that information with the workshops that we've done, not only locally, but working with our State Crime Prevention Association personnel and sharing on the blog what we are seeing Michigan residents fall prey to. And what we've seen from 2023 as we prepare for the 2024 onslaught of so many types of new scams and fraud that residents and consumers are falling prey to. And just the top 10 of those, or just those that are becoming more frequently, is the phishing scams, charity scams, investment scams, payment app scams like Venmo and Zelle and PayPal, Cash App, the IRS and Social Security types of scams,
Yes.
dating scams, cybersecurity or malware scams, and the romance scams. And a lot of these, and we'll talk about this as well, are all being preyed on to have consumers go get gift cards or transfer the gift cards or financial monies to cryptocurrency.
I see.
And so this is something that we need to share with all of our consumers and all of our residents, that the red flag should go up. Anytime someone tells you, I need you to get a gift card, don't get off the phone because we're going to call the police on you. Hang up on them. And the thing that I found, and as I shared earlier, my father-in-law, who was a World War II vet, I was his power of attorney. Working with him, we had the experience of all of the phone calls that would come in on the Microsoft scam. And I would always encourage him, Dad, it's okay. Hang up on them. You don't have to talk to them. Just hang up on them. And I think that's our biggest challenge for seniors who are alone,
Yes.
who
They want
enjoy
somebody
talking
to
with
talk
some
to, yeah.
too,
Yes.
and someone's called.
Right.
But when you've got calls like that, it's okay to hang up.
Yes.
It really is.
Yes. And it's something important, they will call back.
Yes.
So always, so actually, I think you just talked about the social media and the seniors, are mostly, affected by this particular thing.
Well, what's really interesting is that when we see the data that's broken down from the Trade Commission and this Consumer Sentinel report, and we're seeing this at the Michigan Attorney General's office data as well, this is something that's unique with this particular crime. Most of the individuals who fall prey are too embarrassed to report.
Right.
And I always encourage, when I talk to someone who I've known for years, who have been involved in workshops and the community meetings, homeowners association meetings, they will call and tell me about what they have done and what the experience is, and say, I'm too embarrassed and I don't want to file a police report, but I just need to tell somebody. I always encourage, it's never too late to file a police report.
Right.
Because that data goes into this main
You need that,
data
yeah, right.
for these reports.
Yes.
So we can see Michigan right now, with the Federal Trade Commission's 22 report that came out in February of last year. It takes a year cycle to collect all that data and synthesize it from that organization. Michigan is 24th in the nation with both identity theft reports and fraud reports. And the fraud is into the millions that people have lost. And so this is something that's important when we look at how are people being accessed. And when we talk about social media,
Right.
we talk about text messages, cell phone calls. I get them. Everyone gets them. And that's what's so important about how do you help make sure that you're not a victim or fall prey to any of these types of scams.
Yes, wonderful. And well, I guess like you mentioned, the grandparents and dating scams and so on, definitely. And what kind of personal information, such as phone numbers and social security numbers, should be very careful about to others?
A lot of our phone numbers are in some type of public format, except
So
our cell phones.
Okay.
Here's what happens with cell phones. A lot of these scammers have auto dialers.
I see.
So they will put in the area code and the first 3 digits and then they just keep calling and calling and calling
So they find somebody.
until someone picks up.
Right.
So one of the most important parts about all of our devices, we no longer have phone. Well, like I have a phone at home that I have for my scanning purposes and faxing if I need to. And it is a VoIP number and line, but I have it set up to block all scam calls. On our cell phones, both iPhone and Android, there are in your settings, you can go in to set up unknown calls block.
I see.
And in the presentation that I do, I actually have screenshots. So you can see, because a lot of my seniors and the individuals I work with, I'm looking at this, it's no longer just a cell phone anymore. It's
Right.
a device.
Oh, yeah.
It is a true mini computer
It is.
that you have in your possession 24/7. So it's important to be able to go into your settings to block unwanted calls. And particularly with Apple, they just released 2 updates to their security format that you can go in to block those calls, but as well as put the protection on if your cell phone is stolen. You can now block it from being accessed.
Okay.
And that's that particular, there was a lot of information that came out with this most recent security update. And we're encouraging all consumers to go into both Android as well as your iPhone to change those settings to block any information that may be, if it's stolen, that can be found. The other important setting, and this was another one of those updates over the last 6 months, is called phone sharing. And this, when the update happened, you actually, as a consumer, have to go in to change the setting. By default, it goes into sharing your phone. So someone, a bad guy, unfortunately, could walk up to you and put his cell phone near yours
and share it
and capture everything on your phone.
Oh my God.
There were a lot of pros and cons with all the articles that, it's kind of overkill with law enforcement saying don't do this. But I have 2 cell phones, a work and a personal, and when I did the test and I put the phones together, they began to vibrate, and it was, do you want to share all your information that came up on the phone, my second phone? And all I have to do is click it. I don't have to ask you. You've already kept yours open on your phone in your settings.
Right.
So the bad guy can, yes, I want everything, your contacts, your information, your banking information, all of that information that's on your phone, that person now has it. You have to physically go into your settings to shut it off.
Yeah, better be safe than sorry.
Absolutely.
I personally have no financial on my cell phone at all.
Yeah.
I just for safety reasons.
Yes.
So I don't have to, worry about this,
Mm-hmm.
And okay, and I think we just about Social Security. I mean, hopefully.
Yeah, and with Social Security, you never want to put your Social Security number out there. And that is just for you and you only, your Social Security benefits. And there are a lot of, particularly like banking and loan information, that will ask you for your Social Security number. But any site that asks you when you sign up for their services, we also need your Social Security number. I'm not doing business with you. You don't need my Social Security number. And so be very, very cautious with any of those sites that might ask you for your Social Security number. And those personal elements that are so critical for us all to maintain not only our safety for our families and our individuals, is to just make sure that the bad guys don't get it.
Exactly, yeah.
And so there's so much malware, which means that they have planted something in a hyperlink in an email or a text. And when you click on the link, you have now given them access to everything on your phone, on your computer, or your iPad, or your Android, or your smart tablet.
I know, right.
Those links and suspicious emails, you don't want to click them. And, and the thing that's been important when we do the presentations, and I have the seniors, I always ask everyone, get your phones out, and either Android or iPhone. I'm going to show you on the screens where these items are in your settings.
I see.
To change them.
Oh, that's very
helpful. Because that's the part, I don't know what it is. I have to get with my son or my daughter or my friend to help me.
I'm like that, yes.
Yeah, because
exactly, I know.
It is very complex, but when you see it, then you know where to go. Because when you open up settings, it's like, ooh, this is, where would it be? I like to be able to show individuals exactly where those are.
Yeah, this is so helpful.
Yes.
Definitely, I mean, and with all the new technology, it's very hard to keep up, especially, the older people.
Is.
Yes.
It really is.
I mean, that includes me. So definitely, I know, and I'm lucky. I have a son who is very, technical. That's one of his professions
Yeah.
anyway who can help me.
Yeah.
So I'm very fortunate. A lot of people don't have that.
That's very true.
And that's why this program is so
Yeah.
important for seniors, not just for seniors, for people just in general.
All consumers, because we have to live by our phones. I mean, we check and scrolling the news feeds all the time, and there's so much misinformation
Yes.
that's out there. And that's the scary part, because the overload of misinformation then becomes real information.
You don't know what's true and what's
And,
not.
and you
Yes.
have to go to reliable sources.
Right, right.
And so I purposely make sure that I only go to where I need. I block a lot of things that pop up. You can go in and click, oh, nope, don't want to see this, don't want to see that, don't want to see this. And it's so important to be able to make sure, particularly for our seniors when you're online, is to make sure that you're with reliable sources. I have been working very closely with the Michigan Attorney General's office, the elder law of Michigan, and dealing with guardianship, dealing with all of the issues that go along
Right,
with
yeah.
how do we make sure that we protect vulnerable seniors. This type of information is so crucial, and which is why I enjoy going to the nursing homes. I enjoy going
Yeah.
to our senior citizens locations, assisted living sites, and I've got a couple of those coming up soon that we'll be walking through this type of information with them. And I'm encouraging, bring your family members, bring, like you have your son
Yeah,
who
right.
helps you, so that family members can see this information.
Yes.
And even with one of the sites that I'm going to, the staff member says, I'm coming. You know, I want to hear this, because this is so in real time right now. We can be a victim just like that.
Oh, yes, I know.
Just like that. And that's what's so important about not only sharing the data, but also recognizing how not to become a victim.
Yes.
How not to become a victim.
It's very easy.
Yes.
If you're not really on top of things.
Yes.
Definitely. Thank you for watching the first part of the interview with Ritchie Coleman about identity theft and fraud. The rest will be included in the April show. If you have any questions about issues discussed in today's show, please log on to ftc.gov. Again, thank you for watching.
No! No!
Yes. Thank you for joining us on Senior Moments. If you enjoyed the show or have something you'd like to know about, let us know. I'm Linda Brayman, encouraging you to hang in there. Spring will soon be here.